Wholesale trade. What is wholesale trade? It is a trade in which a very large quantity of goods are bought by a wholesaler from manufacturers, and he sells in a moderate quantity to the retailers. Chain of distribution. It is the route through which goods pass before they finally arrive at the doorsteps of the final consumers. We have manufacturers to agents, to wholesalers, to retailers, to final consumers. In this case, we can liken a production in cement factory where manufacturers, the agents get the goods, then the wholesalers also get it, then they pass it across to the retailers, and the retailers pass it across to the final consumers. Also, we have producers, wholesalers, retailers, and consumers. For instance, beverages like Milo, where a Nestle produces a number of goods, then wholesalers buy in large quantity, and retailers also come to buy from the wholesalers in large quantity, while the retailers sell it in small quantity to consumers. We also have producers to agents, to retailers, to consumers. Here we can liken it to the production of mattresses in a foam firm. While producers produce these products, the agents store them in order to get it across to the retailers, then the retailers sell them to the what? To the final consumers. And also we can use another chain like producers to retailers to consumers, whereby the producers produce goods, then the retailers buy from them, and they sell it to consumers in small quantities. And we also have producers to agents, to consumers, and lastly we have producers to consumers. Reasons for wholesalers' survival in distribution chain. 1. It makes them nearer to retailers and consumers. 2. It adds value to goods by blending, grading, and repackaging certain goods like tea into smaller containers before he offers them for sales. He properly stores goods, and also he finances both manufacturers and retailers. Agent wholesalers. Agent wholesaler sells goods on behalf of another person. That's manufacturer, who is referred to as principal. Functions of agent wholesalers. He is not the owner of the goods which he sells. He deals only in one type of good. He does not fix prices. They are fixed by his principal. He may not possess capital, and also he does not have control over the choice of goods to sell. Types of warehouses. 1. We have ordinary warehouse, we have bonded warehouse, and we also have state warehouse. Ordinary warehouse. Under ordinary warehouse, we have under ordinary warehouse, we have factory warehouse, wholesaler warehouse. Factory warehouses are meant for storing raw materials, spare parts, etc., while wholesaler warehouses are owned and controlled by a wholesaler. Bonded warehouses are where bonded goods are kept until the duties imposed on such goods by customs authority are fully paid. State warehouses are owned and run by the federal government. They are mostly used to keep contraband goods seized by government departments or units. Documents used in home trade. 1. Catalog is a document in form of a journal that contains all the goods stocked by a particular trading company, e.g., a wholesaler. A price list is a document that shows the name of all goods a trader stocks with the prices shown in front of each item. Letter of inquiry. In the beginning of a trade, a trader usually makes an inquiry about the sources of goods, their prices, the terms of sales, and so on. And we also have another document, quotation. It is a standard form of reply to a letter of inquiry. Foreign trade. It is an exchange of goods and services among countries, also called international trade. Types of trade. We have bilateral trade, which is a freedom of trade between two countries. We also have multilateral trade, is a freedom of trade between 3 or more countries. Advantages of foreign trade. It brings about large-scale production. It enables various countries to make use of goods which they cannot produce. It fosters good relationship among people of different countries. It creates abundant employment opportunities. It raises the general standard of living of all people in the world. Disadvantages of foreign trade. 1. It makes countries to be interdependent. 2. Free trade enables people to move around the world. This makes people to emulate bad culture of other countries. It gives access to all types of goods, especially harmful goods like drugs. Superior products from other countries reduce effective demand for some local goods. Let's talk about barriers to foreign trade. Importers are compelled to travel a very long distance before they can see the goods. Also, importers must know all relevant laws, especially business laws of other countries. Importers must obtain the currency of the exporting countries. Also, different languages of different countries make trade quite difficult among countries. It requires preparation of a large number of documents before the goods are sent to or received from other countries. Now let's talk about division of foreign trade. Exports. Under export we have visible and invisible. Exports are goods and services which a country sells to other countries. Now, visible exports are tangible goods which a country sells to other countries. Invisible exports are mainly services which a country renders to other countries. Imports, we have visible and invisible. Imports are goods and services which a country buys from other countries. And visible imports mainly are tangible goods which a country buys from other countries. Invisible imports are services which one country buys from other countries. Entreport involves importing goods from a particular country like Britain and re-exporting, that is selling them to other countries. Those countries that are landlocked countries like Mauritania. So they rely on countries along the coast to import the goods on their behalf. Now let's talk about balance of trade. Balance of trade is the difference between the total value of feasible exports and feasible imports of one country in a year. Also, balance of payment. It is a statement of incomes, that's receipts, and expenditure, that's payments of one country with other countries in a year. Balance of payment is favorable if total value of feasible and infeasible exports, that's receipts, exceeds total value of feasible and infeasible imports, that's payment. And it is unfavorable if the total value of feasible and infeasible imports, that's payments, are more than total value of feasible and infeasible exports, that's receipts, per period.